Pikachu, Squirtle, Pikachu, Squirtle, Charmander. I am going to mishmash them into my own inventions and create a toy manufacturing business and put Pokemon out of business with better designs.
You need that back, Jeff?
This video is brought to you by Tenhan's awesome merch designs. More about them bloody later in the video and throughout the video because I'm gonna look sharp.
With these adorable mass-produced Pokemon as a starting point, it's time to get my hands dirty and sculpt a little bit of corruption. Starting off with Charmander, I immediately knew the direction I wanted to go with this guy. I wanted to make him a total Chad. Why? I don't know. Charmander was always my favorite starter Pokemon growing up and, well, let's face it, as an adult. And I feel like he could be visually represented as being way more cool than he is. Well, he's a fire Pokemon, he doesn't have to be cool, but that's beside the point. I thought if I was going to amplify this guy and make him a bit obscene, it might as well be in the direction of him thinking himself way too cool. So after packing on a bunch of muscle, it was time to nestle into some of the details, specifically some Guy Fieri style spiked hair, and of course getting into the details of the anatomy, sparing no details at all of course, from the rippling pectoral to the bulging biceps, tense triceps, amplified abs, and tying it all together with little touches of detail throughout. This is going to be a Charmander for the ages. Well, the grown-up, for the adult ages, not the under ages. It's just like Charmander if he were in Magic Mike. Magic Charmander. Now, originally I was a bit stuck for what to do for Squirtle because he's got this big shell that takes up 70% of his entire character identity. But then I thought, you know what else has a shell? A Koopa. And I figured since every YouTuber and their dog is making Mario-themed content these days, including yours truly, why not lean into that and just make Squirtle a Koopa Trooper? And it really doesn't take a heck of a whole lot, just some shoes, bit of face detail, swapping out the tail for a pointy one, and the rest will come in through the paint job. Last but not least, it's time to corrupt Pikachu. For those of you wondering, this stuff I'm using to sculpt on it to customize is Milliput mixed with green stuff. The green stuff is a sculpting medium used for miniatures, which is much more hard and sticky, and the Milliput is much more sculptable, but you can mix them together to get the best of both worlds. I want something that's pretty sculptable, but also sticky enough to stick to my little characters, and this is working really well. But I'm gonna need a lot more of this to work with my Pikachu, because I figured if people love chubby Pikachu so much, why not give the people what they really want, just a whole lot more chub? But let's just take it to the extreme. Let's do a crossover of Jabba the Hutt and Pikachu. There is something unsettlingly satisfying about sculpting the roles of Pikachu and adding the details of the lines in his skin. And with all of his features coming together, he is just the most epic chonker ever. Let me know if you think this is an improvement or if you prefer the original Pikachu to even the chubby Pikachu. But I think my ultra chubby Pikachu has a special place in my heart. Perhaps some of your hearts as well.
As a result of my craftsmanship, I now have 3 Pokemon that I can be proud of. But I am competing with a line of toys. They can make as many Pikachu, Charmanders, and Squirtles as I want. And I've just got these. I could let them cure and just paint them and call it a day, but no. I am going to silicon cast these so I can make plastic toys of these corrupted Pokemon from my Chadmander, Squirtle Trooper, and extra chubby Pikachu, Jabba-Chew, Chunky Chew. So let's start with Pikachu because he's the smallest and probably the simplest. I need a container that will hold him, and this seems very suitable. So my theory is where's his height? He's like that tall back there. So in theory, if I cut the top of this cup open, I just need to turn it into a container with the base at the bottom because most of his mass is at the bottom. So I'll put on his rocket release now and seal his fate with a hot glue gun. This needs to be completely leak proof, otherwise we'll lose our silicon once we pour it. I think that is pretty much good to go. So I'll put that aside for the glue to set. All right, next, Squirtle, same thing. All right, Squirtle's ready for a swim in silicon, but Chadmander, I'm worried, will be too big, which is something he would be very proud of, let's face it. Oh, it's really, really tight. And the fact that he's so close to the front edge, it's not great. I hoped it wouldn't come to this. I'm sorry, Chad, but your tail is not as big as you've been telling people. He's even more front heavy now. He can't stand upright. Oh no. I'm gonna have to use a little bit of this clay on the bottom of his feet to tip him upright a little bit. Look, I know you were really proud of your 7-inch flame. But you know what? There's no shame in a 2-inch flame. Okay, that one's gonna set, and I think Pikachu is ready to go. Look at that. Now I'm just gonna mix up some silicone. Whee! Pikachu done. Squirtle time. All right, and that's it. We wait for them to set, pop a few bubbles on the way, and then we step aside for a minute so I can tell you about these awesome shirts. This video is brought to you by my buddy Tenhun's t-shirt subscription. For those of you who don't know, Tenhun is an incredible art YouTuber. We've collaborated before, and his really, really awesome style is so perfectly suited to merch, it's mind-blowing. He doesn't just make awesome art YouTube content for you to watch every week, he also makes incredible merch that he releases every month to his subscribers. Not his YouTube subscribers, his shirt of the month subscribers. It's a different subscription. He literally makes a brand new t-shirt design every month, and it's a fun surprise that shows up in your mail. And as you've seen some of the awesome designs in this video, they're really, really good, and you can just get them as they are, but the subscribers to the monthly shirts get 25% off. So it's an awesome discount on the best merch designs I've seen. You also get a new sticker with your merch, and the designs are silk screen printed for added quality and longevity. Printed on soft 100% ring spun pre-shrunk cotton, they're gonna be durable and really long lasting, and they're super comfortable. So aside from awesome designs and a great discount, he's also giving you an even better discount using the code JAZZA. You're gonna get 40% off of your first month. All right, back to the silicone. Silicon's done!
That was very energetic.
Too much? Silicon's done. Let's crack them open. Silicon's done. Let's see how they turned out. So I need to get these out, and they are fully sealed in there. But the way I get them out by slowly slicing is also the way I'm gonna get any future toys out if I cast in there. So I need to strategically cut. Now, I've never done this before.
With my silicone mold set, releasing them was such a satisfying process. You could take your time and do this a lot better. I'm treating this video as a bit of a proof of concept, so I'm not being too careful. But it's worth noting that if you do something like this yourself, wherever you cut will potentially, or most likely, make a seam or a spill out of mold lines once the casting process happens. You'll see what I mean later when I, of course, cast mine. But with my original models released, it's time to actually cast my brand new Vulgar Pokemon toys.
This is rigid polyurethane. Fast set. Pot life is 2¼ minutes. So we gotta act really fast. And I'm gonna do one creature at a time because I don't think that's enough time to do 3 well. Now the great thing about this is actually we can figure out how much we need by filling it with water. Fill it all the way up. So that's entirely full. I need that much. From memory, this stuff reacts really badly with water. That was a really dumb idea. Release agent first. An even mix. Even-ish. When it starts setting pretty quick. So while it's very liquidy, I'm just gonna pour in there because we have the ears capturing bubbles. So I'm gonna try and pour directly into the ears. So this will hold it together really firmly. I can just pour the rest in here. Really slow pour. After every few seconds, I'm gonna stop, a little tappies, work out any bubbles as it continues to come further up. That's Pikachu done. Let's do the rest. All right, I think we're ready to demold. Let's start off with Pikachu. This is our original. Hopefully, we're gonna get something that looks like one beautiful, complete toy. I am so excited, especially because it looks like it's worked. Oh my God. Oh, it's awful. I love it. Look at those nipples. This is so bad. So these are called mold lines. That happens because there's going to be fractional gaps and this stuff flows pretty well. Do you know what the funniest thing is? Because there's bubbles and I couldn't get like an absolutely perfect pour and I didn't use a compression chamber or anything, we end up with these like little bubble textures on the surface of the skin, which I'm gonna say is kind of perfect. It just like adds to the Jabba the Huttness of him, which is amazing. Oh my God. And it's a proper little plastic toy. Like, feel that.
Oh, wow. It's a proper...
It's a proper plastic
It's
toy.
proper.
Yeah. So it feels like you could buy that off the shelf. All right, Squirtle time. Oh, that cast beautifully. Actually really happy with that. Oh my God. All right. Oh, you know I'm excited for this one. Oh boy. There's gonna be a lot of mold lines on this one. Oh boy. Oh boy. He's got concave nipples, but other than that, looking pretty good. There's a little bit of loss of detail, but really nothing that can't be fixed. There's a lot of fun to be had when we have infinite access to replicating monstrosities.
With all my stunning Pokemon designs perfect and ready for mass production, it was time to take them to finality one at a time. Let's start with Pikachu. Spray coating and a bit of a reddish and orange and working my way up to a yellow, I figured pretty quickly that the spray paints I was using were either past due or just not right for this because they left cheese whiz-like surface texture all over the model, which I figured in this case could be a feature. Let's just say he's extra repulsive. And then let's just lean into that with the paint job. Then on to our Squirtle, or Squirtle Trooper as I'm coming to call him, with the base coat, working my way up to turquoise and blues. Again, I had some of the issues with the surface texture because the spray paints I used were actually graffiti spray paints, not miniature spray paints. Whoopsie. But again, just working with that for the rest of the paint job and leaning into our Koopa theme, of course, by repainting the skin Squirtle color and everything else Koopa Trooper color. Last but certainly not least, Charmander. Having learned from my other two undersprays, I figured his skin might be a little more smooth and glistening, so I worked mainly with miniature spray paints this time. Live and learn, but hey, like I said, this is all more of a proof of concept, so they don't have to be perfect, they just have to be messed up enough to make the point. With the base coats of Charmander done, it was time to mainly accentuate the differences in his skin area as they are in the Charmander design, and give those muscles a little bit of extra punch. Wrapping it all up with some blonde tips to the hair. Now usually Charmander's design has the red of the flame towards the tips, but I'm swapping them because I feel like it's got to emulate blonde tips. So starting with a red base and working my way up to the yellows and light colors to give him that extra douchey vibe with the finishing touches and detail. And then our Charmander is ready to lather up in baby oil and go to the beach. I don't know what he does. I don't know. It's weird regardless. Enjoy.
And after all of that, our Pokemon journey has come to an end, but our Grossimon journey is just beginning. I'm coining that. I'm gonna Grossimon? I don't know. From Jabba the Pikachu to our extra copyright infringing Squirtle Trooper. And I gotta say, I don't usually have a favorite, but Charmander is my favorite. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to Tenhun for sending me all this awesome merch. Go check that out, links in the description. Let me know in the comments if you want me to continue this horrific agenda of mine. Keeping in mind, I've got these. I can do more of these. I can make an army of Charmanders. Oh my God, the world is our oyster. And these are just our starter Pokemon. What if we did like Mewtwo? Spewtwo? Yeah, what if we, rather than Eldegoss, or is it Eldegross? I don't even know. I only know the 151 original. I'm just blabbing now. Ow!